What is up, my butter biscuits? In today's video, we're going to be talking about Tana Mongeau, Wittek, and Trisha Paytas. Honestly, y'all, I want to say before getting into this video, low-key, I'm really liking the Just Trish podcast. And it's low-key inspiring me to just like hurry up and do a podcast. As y'all know, I've been saying for like 2 years now, I want to do a podcast. And I just have so many things inside my head that's like holding me back. Say, for example, one of them being that I ramble so much. And then when I watch Trisha's podcast, I'm like, low-key, she rambles way more than I do and people really enjoy it. So I'm like, oh. And then another thing is I talk so fast and she talks faster than me. So I'm like, okay, wow, maybe I should just get it going. Do you know what I mean? I have a lot of things holding me back, and because too, I would love to have like a nice podcast set, but I'm like, y'all, I'm living in like a 1-bedroom here. You know what I mean? I have no room for that. It's like really difficult. And on top of that too, I need a co-host. Like I need one of my friends to do it with me, and I'm just keeping it real with you guys. A lot of my friends are like, I'm too scared to be on camera, and then also I'll have a couple friends who are like, I don't know, I'm kind of scared to like get canceled because my opinions on this may not be the most popular opinion. I'm like, that's what makes a podcast good, in my opinion. I feel like when you have non-popular opinions, I don't know, it strikes up a conversation. You know what I mean? I feel like a lot of people this day and age, though, are really scared of cancel culture. And I'm just like, I'm so over it, y'all. I'm approaching my mid-30s and I could care less. Honestly, I feel like if anybody's going to attack me over my opinion, then that speaks more volumes of you than it does of me. Do you know what I mean? Anyways, y'all, just wanted to get that out there. Also, speaking of like rambling and stuff, I have been the most active on TikTok that I have been literally ever. And y'all, I'm just letting you guys know that, first of all, go follow me on TikTok if you guys are interested in TikToks. But letting you guys know, speaking of rambling, I literally just go off on a tangent over there. I'm completely unhinged. I'm just letting you guys know I have no direction of what I'm doing for TikToks. You will be seeing on my main TikTok account that I will be doing like, you know, rambling, or I may do joke videos, things like that. Like honestly, y'all, it's a little bit of everything. But then yes, I will be doing mini reviews on there as well too. And I will be uploading vertical views of some videos on here onto there. Do you know what I mean? Just letting you guys know. So if you guys go follow me on TikTok, because I've seen some people like, what's up with the makeup videos? And I'm like, y'all, like, I haven't been into like the makeup videos in a hot minute. Like, yes, every now and then I will throw up a review, don't get me wrong, but just letting you guys know, if you guys are following me over on TikTok, it's like really unhinged. Like I'm literally over there just ranting, rambling, talking about nonsense. Honestly, like that's like a totally different version of myself. Low-key, that's the version of myself that you will see on the podcast. Just so you guys know, like go check out my TikToks, and how you see me on there is literally how I will be on a podcast. Anyways, oh, also too, I am now being more way more active on my travel TikTok account as well too. So if you guys are interested in travel type of stuff, y'all, I'm like really getting it going, and I'm doing a really good job with that, and I am being super consistent with that. So if you guys are interested in a little bit more organized content, you guys can check out the Fat Bros Travel for TikTok, because that one is going to be way more, you know, it's going to be way more put together, and way more like effort is going to go put into that rather than my main account. My main account is just going to be a hot mess. Also too, make sure you guys like click the link down below, head over to my second channel. That's my travel channel with my brother. There was another thing that I was going to tell you guys, but I forgot, but y'all know how I am. Anyways, give this video a big thumbs up too. And oh, I know what I was going to tell you guys. So do you guys remember how a while ago I did tell you guys every Sunday I wanted to do kind of like something like a mini podcast here on this channel, as to where I'm going to call it like the sip and spill? I'm thinking about doing that. I didn't get a lot of comments about it. A lot of people didn't DM me about it or talk to me about it. So I'm kind of like, maybe you guys are not that interested, but I'm just letting you guys know I'm thinking maybe next Sunday or the following Sunday, I may start doing that. And basically what I'm going to do is kind of like a recap of what happened that week, and I'm going to have a couple of drinks, because I'm going to keep it real with you guys, okay? Call me an alcoholic or whatever you want to call me, but every Sunday I pretty much do Sunday Fun Day. So I'm like, oh my gosh, it'll be fun to like kind of just film a video and like have a couple drinks and talk about what's like literally going on that week in the news, whether it be in pop culture, the beauty industry, whatever. It's just kind of like a recap, and I kind of want to do that here on this channel, and I want to call it like the sip and spill. So if you guys see that within the next few weeks, keep an eye out for it, and make sure you guys check it out, and make sure you guys let me know how you like it. Let me shut up. Let's go ahead and get into this Trisha tea. So recently, just in case you guys have not seen, Trisha has been on quite a lot of podcasts. And I do want to say this before getting into this. I feel like Trisha has been doing a really good job about not being problematic and not being too overly dramatic. I do have to say, in my personal opinion, this is just my opinion, I feel like back in the day, Trisha Paytas, any single time any little bit of drama would have came up, she would have been on her kitchen floor crying about it, like making a big old deal about it, making like 10 videos about it. And I feel like now she's just kind of saying her piece and keeping it pushing. And I really enjoy that, because I feel like, of course, speak your truth, say whatever's on your mind, say your opinion. But I feel like before, in the past, Trisha, like, y'all, she used to like blow it out of proportion, and she would make so many videos about it, and I couldn't keep up. And I'm just like, okay, girl, you're making video after video after video of saying the same thing over and over again. And now she's just kind of like saying her little 2 cents and keeping it pushing. Well, recently, just in case you guys didn't see, JoJo Siwa was, I want to say, on the Howie Mandel podcast. And she did say on there, basically, that everybody was lying about the Colleen Ballinger situation. And as you guys know, Trisha Paytas was one of the victims. Well, I don't know if victim is the correct term that she would want me to use, but she's basically one of the people that were targeted by Colleen, because Colleen was going around sending her nudes to people and making fun of them. I also do want to say this too, because I did see the videos before about Trisha Paytas and Colleen Bellinger. I feel like she handled the situation so good, because I'm going to keep it real with you guys. If somebody that I was friends with, or I thought that I was friends with, was going around sending my nudes to people and making fun of me, I would be so far triggered. I feel like, well, obviously, as you guys know, I have a lot of issues with my body, y'all. I'm big, I'm hairy, I'm all the above, you know what I mean? So I'm like really insecure about my body. So I feel like if my friend was doing that to me, I would literally not be okay. Like, just being straight up with you guys. So I feel like she really handled that situation really, really good. And I was like, you know what? Kudos to her and good for her. But I do want to say, though, it does suck with JoJo Siwa that she actually came out and basically called everybody liars when there was actually proof about all of this happening. So that's where I'm just kind of like, what? I'm going to go ahead and play a small clip from the Just Trish podcast where she is talking about this so you guys can see about the JoJo Siwa situation.
It didn't bother me initially. So Tana on the canceled, Tana and Brooke on canceled had JoJo Siwa. And I was getting a lot of comments on like TikTok and stuff like that. Just like, oh my gosh, all this stuff like that. I was like so confused. Then I saw a text from Tana and she's like, oh my gosh, like she's like, I'm so sorry. We had JoJo on like weeks before I didn't even know she defended Colleen, like what's happening. Like she was doing all this stuff. And my initial text back to Tana was just like, oh, like, I don't care. Like be friends with who you want to be friends with. And especially a podcast. Like I want Elon Musk on. I'm sure people are like, yo. I guess my issue then comes, and that's why I unfollowed JoJo. It's like there's so much severity and there's obviously a lot of backlash. And for JoJo to not even put out a notes tweet to be like, wasn't thinking, I was just trying to defend my friends, something like that's when I unfollowed.
So as you can see from right there too, she also thought that she was cool with JoJo. Like maybe she thought that she would have her on the podcast and stuff like that. And then out of nowhere, JoJo just did that. And I think that it sucks, but I do want to say this though. I do see a lot of comments about JoJo inside of the Just Trish podcast. And I want to say at the same time, she's 20 years old. And honestly, y'all, I do have to say when I was 20 years old, I wouldn't be thinking about this. I'd be like, oh, I'm cool with this person. That's it. I'm gonna have their back. I wouldn't be thinking about the grand, scope of things. I would just be saying my opinion. I'd be like, oh, this person's cool with me and that's just it. You know what I mean? So I do want to say that. I feel like a lot of people are like really coming at JoJo, but I'm like, y'all, she is 20 years old. And on top of that too, like she's grown up in this industry, so she doesn't really realize it. You know what I mean? I feel like when she matures and grows up, she'll be like, oh my God, like what this person did was like really, really messed up. Also, I do want to say this too, because I have been friends with some people before who have done really, really bad things to other people. And I'm like, damn, this person is such a good friend to me. You can still be friends with that person, but you do have to hold them accountable and say, hey, you know what they did was really wrong, but we're still friends. We're like, I'm working with her through it. Do you know what I mean? I don't think that she had to get on the podcast and basically call everybody a liar and say like, oh, she's a great person. And it's like, Colleen really did some messed up things. Y'all, I'm gonna be honest with you guys. Like, I feel like maybe because I'm just like, I don't know, warped in the brain. It takes a lot for me to say a person's really messed up. But I saw this video clip. I told you guys about it before because I didn't really touch on the Colleen situation. I saw this clip of where she was putting like cheese puffs down her pants and had a little boy pick them out. I was like, and I was with my friend who has a 7-year-old son, and I was like, how would you feel about this? She was like, I would literally go up there and fuck that bitch up. Like, literally. I was like, that's not okay. Like, I was like, okay. Like, y'all, I like some dark humor. I like some crude jokes. As you guys know, I said it before. Anthony Jeselnik is like one of my favorite comedians, but he's just up there, literally just upstage, making like really, really dark jokes. He's not bringing people up there. He's not having little kids involved. You know what I'm saying? I was like, ooh, that's a little bit bad. Anyways, that is pretty much it for that situation. I do want to go ahead and touch on the Tana situation because she did say, oh my gosh, I really hope. In my perfect world, I feel like Tana and Trisha would make a podcast of their own. But then also, I do have to keep it real. I feel like they're both temperamental people. I feel like low-key, y'all, they have a lot of friendships and then they stop having friendships. And then, I don't know, things get a little bit messy. So I would love for them to have a podcast because I love them both. I'm going to keep it real with you guys too. I always said like, oh my gosh, I really would love to be friends with Tana. But I feel like she's the type that, ooh, y'all, if we ever got into an argument, she's going to air out all the laundry. Do you know what I mean? So I'm like, I don't know how I would feel about that. But I do feel like their podcast would be super entertaining. I really love them together. I feel like they are low-key the same, but then different, if that makes any type of sense. But basically, she was really apologizing to Trisha Paytas, saying like, oh my gosh, I'm so sorry that I had JoJo on the canceled podcast. And I really do like that she was apologetic about it. But obviously, she didn't know that this Howie Mandel podcast was coming out, where she was basically going to be defending Colleen Bellinger. So I was like, kudos to Tana. And I really do hope that Trisha's and Tana's friendship does work out. Also, one last little thing to wrap up this video. She did confront, y'all. I literally was following this drama all along because I'm gonna be honest with you guys, I really used to like the Vlog Squad. Honestly, I used to watch every single David Dobrik video, and I was like really like tuned in on all of this stuff when she basically saw what's his name, Jeff Wittek at Starbucks, and she was like, oh my gosh, he literally just booked it. He literally just ran up out of here. And I do want to say I love the fact that they cleared up everything. And low-key now, I feel like it's Tana, Jeff, and Trisha who are like the anti-David Dobrik like crew, and I kind of like them, you know what I mean? I'm gonna be honest with you guys, I don't know how it's gonna play out in court, obviously, with Jeff Wittek as well as David Dobrik. I'm really curious to see how that's going to go, but I do want to say, I think that it sucks because as a fan of David Dobrik and his vlogs and his, like, honestly, y'all, if I'm keeping it real with you guys, like, I feel like he, not that he had anything to do with travel, but he low-key really inspired my travel channel. I was like seeing his videos and seeing the things that he was doing, I was like, oh my god, I want to make fun content like that surrounded about my travels and food and things like that. And I think that it sucks that obviously he is just really standing by this choice of that he didn't do anything wrong when it came down to the whole crane situation with Jeff Wittek. I'm like, y'all, I just really would appreciate if he just took accountability and said, you know what, I did mess up. I'm a multimillionaire. I'm the one setting up these videos. I should have had a crew, a safety crew there on the scene to be able to control things. You know, like say for example, Jackass, like they have a whole team of people who is a stunt team, who has coordinators there, who has safety crew there. David Dobrik, if he's going to be doing like crazy videos like this, obviously he did stop, but if he was, you know, doing videos like this, he should have had a team there. And I think that it sucks that he's really doubling down and following through with all this court stuff rather than just admitting wrong. But anyways, y'all, that is pretty much it for this video. I do want to say I'm like really, really proud of Trisha. I think that she is really changing as a person. And this is just a thing that I do want to say before closing out this video is I feel like Trisha is the type of person that is really setting an example to the world as to where people can change. If you look back on Trisha, she has done some offensive things. She's said some offensive things. She's done really, really wild things. And I feel like as we see, if you like really try to just cancel and bash a person, I think that that sucks. Like, honestly, I feel like Trisha is living proof that people can change, they can learn to grow. And you know, also another thing I'm gonna say before ending this video too is I would really like to see Jeffree Star on the Just Trish podcast. I feel like we possibly will see that pretty soon because I would love to see what they have to say to each other about it, because I'm like, there's obviously a lot of unsaid things going on over here and I want to know what the tea is. Anyways, y'all, that is it for this video. Make sure you guys give it a big thumbs up. I would really appreciate it, and I'll catch you guys in the next video. Peace out, Girl Scout.